Hello, mighty companion. This is Earl Purdy. Welcome to A Way of Mastery, The Way of Mastery on Facebook Live. Welcome to The Way of Mastery on Facebook Live. Tonight, I'm going to talk about fearlessness. In The Way of Mastery, we're going to talk about the primary characteristic of mastery. We're going to talk about the primary characteristic of mastery. This is Earl Purdy doing the way of mastery. Earl Purdy doing the way of mastery. Earl Purdy doing the way of mastery on fearlessness. Remember, let me recognize the problem so the problem can be solved. Let's recognize the problem so the problem can be solved. Recognize the problem so the problem can be solved. Teach only love. Teach only love. Each and every day. Teach only love. Only love. Special way, teach only love. Love is what you are. Yes. Welcome to the Way of Mastery. I'm going to be talking about fearlessness. We're going to talk about the characteristic, the primary characteristic called fearlessness. It's important. Teach only love. Love is what you are. Teach only love. Yeah, you're a shining star. Only love. Guess what? Love is what you are. Welcome, mighty companion. Let me recognize the problem so problem can be solved. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Let me recognize the problem so the problem can be solved. Guess what? Teach only love. Teach it every day. Teach only love. Teach it every day. Teach only love. Love is what you are. I'm so glad to have you with me right now. Remember, you need not believe the ideas, welcome the ideas. Some of the ideas are going to be hard to believe, and some of the ideas are going to be startling. But you're not asked to judge the ideas at all, analyze them at all. If you use the ideas, you will see that the ideas are true. If you use the ideas, you will see that the ideas are true. If you use these ideas that I'm going to share with you from the Way of Mastery, you're going to see that the ideas are true. Love is what you are. Now I want you to remember this. Let me recognize the problem so the problem can be solved. Reach only love, teach only love. Do you hear what I'm saying? Teach only love. Yeah. Teach only love, for that is what you are. Oh, you are. Oh, love is what you are. Yeah, love is what you are. Love is what you are. That was Brother John Christmas at johnChristmas.com. I would love you to download his music. It's available to you, and you can receive it absolutely free. Hello, mighty companion. It's good to be here with you. I hope you've had an incredible, this is the first Facebook Live broadcast after Christmas. Christmas was yesterday. And the Course in Miracles teaches that Christmas should be the end of sacrifice. Not sacrifice, but the end of sacrifice. It's great to see you here, Linda and Kathy and Myrna and Stephanie and Janine and Grace and Holden and Raquel and everybody else that's online with me right now. I love feeling you with me. I love that you want to go through the way of mastery with me. And to in this particular, don't forget, you can share. I can see your comments, and I always read your comments. You can share with each other. We can interact. This is live. And I want to ask your help. I would like you to take a moment to share this video, this live broadcast, on your timeline. Just right next to where you do the comments, you'll see an icon that says share. Just take a moment and share this live broadcast on your timeline so that other people who want to let go of fearlessness, who want to become more loving, that are probably asking how can they see things in a new way, maybe praying for that right now. It's up to us to extend the truth out, to extend the light out. So from the bottom of my heart, I would appreciate it if you would share this live broadcast right now or share this on your timeline. Would you do that for me? Thank you. I really appreciate it. We're going to be on page 73 in lesson 6, the primary characteristic of mastery in the way of the heart. In the way of mastery. We're going to be on page 73. We're in lesson 6, which is love heals all things. We are on page 73. It's called the primary characteristic of mastery. And I covered a little bit of it before. So where I'm going to start off is, actually, let me correct what I just got through saying. Presence of love, the truth of it matters not. Okay. I would like you to just take a breath right now and just relax and allow yourself to get centered with me right now. And I'm going to start with the paragraph that says, it matters not the opinions of others who are yet resisting that decision. What decision? The decision for you to be the truth of who you are. So this section, we're going to start out with a prayer. That prayer is, now, from this moment on, I will no longer tolerate error in myself. No more games, no more games, no more dreams, no more dreams. I am committed. I am committed to being only the presence of love. For love is the truth of who I am. I'm committed to be the presence of love because love is who I am. And we're going to start with the paragraph that says, it matters not the opinions of others who are yet resisting that decision. I think it's so important to remember that it doesn't matter what people think who have not still made the decision to be the presence of love, because it's not until you're the presence of love that you're being who you truly are. It's only when you're being the presence of love that you're being who you really are. So the way of mastery says it doesn't matter the opinions of others who are yet resisting that decision. What decision? The decision to be the presence of love. The decision to be who they truly are. What I would invite you to do going into this next year is to say, this is the year that I'm going to, as much as possible, not allow myself to be concerned, not allow myself to be concerned about the opinions of others. This is going to be the year that is not about other people's opinions. It's not about me trying to explain myself to everybody to get them to validate me or say that who I am and who I want to be is okay. This is the year that I'm not going to allow the opinions of people who have not made their spiritual awakening their primary focus and their primary goal. It's so good to have you here, Kathy and Sarah J. Julie, all of my mighty companions are with me. It's so cool. Then indeed all things on the heaven and earth move to support you. The once you make the decision to be your truest self, the way of Master says, then indeed all things on the heaven and earth move to support you, to guide you to the right person, the right place, the right book, the right sunrise, the right meadow, in order to assist you. Assist you in what? Dropping the shackles of obstacles. What obstacles? The obstacles to the presence of love that you have created as an idol and as a substitute for love. All of the people, all of the right people, all of the right places, all of the help that you have ever prayed for, that you really want, Earl, that you really want, my mighty companions. I want you to know that that help will come to you. The universe will come to you and support you. God will support you. God is always supporting you, but it will be more obvious to you when you make the decision that your biggest desire is to be the presence of love, that your biggest desire is to be the truth of who you really are. It says that's why when you truly pray, and how is it that a person should truly pray? You should truly pray from the depth of your soul. So when you truly pray from the depth of your soul, and you say what in that prayer from the depth of your soul? You say, God, bring me home. God, bring me home. God, bring me home. My Creator, bring me home. Say that right now. My Creator, God, bring me home. Bring me home. Bring me home. Bring me home. If you pray that from the depth of your soul, you may rest assured from that moment on, it is fine for you to trust. What is it that you're going to trust? When you really admit that you are asking your Creator to bring you home, you can trust every little thing that unfolds in your life. I've asked God to bring me home. I've asked the Creator to bring me home to reality, to permanent love, to constant joy, to constant happiness. That is reality. That is home. So since I've asked God to bring me home, the way that I would show that I have the faith that God will bring me home to love is that I'm going to trust every little thing that unfolds in my life now. Whatever happens the rest of this day, I'm going to trust that that is unfolding for my own best interest and in divine order. For though you don't see it, what you call angels are just your friends that simply do not have bodies. Do you know that what you call angels are just your friends that are beyond the body? Angels are just your friends who don't have bodies. You are not a body, okay? You are not your body. You are not a body. You are love. You are spiritual awareness. You are consciousness. You are unlimited. You are not your physical body. And who you call angels are just the friends that you have that are not incarnated in bodies the way that you are incarnated in a body. So what you call angels, which are friends that simply do not have bodies, are rushing about because you have given the command. You have all of this invisible help because you have given the command. Now I'm going to give you the command from the way of mastery. That's the command that will allow angels, friends who do not have bodies, to rush to your assistance in every way. And this is it. Yes, So you want to acknowledge the invisible forces in order for the invisible forces to become more active in your life. Because love waits on welcome, not on time. Anybody or anything that loves you will not interfere, will not make demands, will not force themselves on you. So our invisible guides, our invisible teachers, they are waiting for our acknowledgement, our request. We're so used to being in a dream reality, this reality, where things seem to happen to us against our will, or we are constantly experiencing people who are trying to force their wills on us, so it seems, that sometimes it becomes difficult for us to remember that love never demands, commands, or tries to force its will on you. So don't you know that that means that all of our invisible help is just waiting for us to ask? And there's a prayer right here in the Way of Mastery that says, yes, I accept your presence in my life. All of my invisible teachers, all of my angels, all of my invisible guides, all of my invisible teachers, the Holy Spirit within me, Yeshua, Jesus, all the great spiritual masters, I am accepting your presence in my life. So take a moment and say that to yourself. Yes, I accept your presence in my life. I turn the whole thing, my life, over. Yes, I accept your presence in my life and I turn the whole thing over. Take a moment to say that to yourself. Yes, I accept your presence, the invisible teachers, helpers, angels, spirit, God. I accept your presence in my life. I turn the whole thing over. Now, this is the prayer. It's right there in the Way of Mastery if you have the book. Now, each moment is dedicated to healing and awakening the illusory sense of separation from God that once I created in error. So what are you dedicated to right now, Earl? What are you dedicated to right now, Earl? What are you dedicated to right now, mighty companion? Each moment is dedicated to healing and awakening the illusory sense of separation from God. Each moment is dedicated to healing and awakening the illusory sense of separation from God that once I created in error. Now each moment is dedicated to what? To healing and awakening the illusory, the unreal, the untrue sense of separation from God, which is from love, that once I created in error. That's the prayer that acknowledges the presence of angels and our invisible healers, helpers, and teachers, and allows them to rush to our support and to our aid. I also want to take a moment to let you know that starting in 2018, next week, I'm going to be doing my Facebook Live from a new location, which is my Earl Purdy page. That's actually the name of it, the Earl Purdy page. And that's where I will be broadcasting all of my Facebook Live broadcasts from. I can reach more people working from a page than from my Facebook profile. And also, a person can watch the broadcast whether or not they are my Facebook friends, which was part of a limitation of broadcasting from my Facebook profile, is that sometimes people can't watch my broadcast unless they're my Facebook friend. But when you do it from your page, then anyone can watch, your friends, your relatives, anybody. So it will be very easy to find me. It's the Earl Purdy page, but the link will be facebook.com/Earl Purdy Live. So you're looking for what? www.facebook.com/Earl Purdy Live. That's where I will be broadcasting all of my Facebook Live broadcasts starting in 2018, next week. So I will be doing it at a new level. So, and also starting a brand new class, Facebook Live on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. And it's going to be on A Course in Miracles. I've taught the Course in Miracles and facilitated the Course in Miracles for 37 years. And there are levels working with the book that I want to share with you. And it's called Hardcore Course in Miracles. I call it Hardcore Course for short. So I'm going to be doing a Hardcore Course in Miracles Facebook Live, 7 o'clock on Thursday, starting the first Thursday in January. And it's going to be very book intensive, and it's going to be, I believe, a way that will come through me that will be extraordinarily helpful for people who really want to master the teachings of A Course in Miracles. So I just want to let you know what's happening. And because I want to be that presence of God that rushes to support you because you've just made the declaration that you just said, which was, I accept your presence in my life. I turn the whole thing over. And so I'm here to support you, and you're here to support me. Hardcore Course, 7 p.m. on Thursdays, starting the first Thursday in January 2018. And I will still be doing The Way of Mastery at 7 p.m. Mountain Time on Tuesdays, and A Course in Miracles also on Sundays at 1 o'clock p.m. Mountain Time. And I will be doing them from facebook.com/Earl Purdy Live, from the Earl Purdy page. So it'll be easy to find on Facebook. How many ways have you sought love? I want you to think about that for a minute. How many ways have, and this Hardcore Course in Miracles class, it's going to be what I call a very uncensored expression of myself. I'm getting out of the way. I'm letting things come through me however Holy Spirit wants them to come through me. So I don't know what I'm going to say or how I'm going to say it, other than I'm going to really be working intensely out of the Course in Miracles book. And I'll be using the most popular version that most people have, which is the Foundation for Inner Peace version of A Course in Miracles. So I want to be uncensored and just let it come through me. In how many ways have you sought love? Can you count the ways you have looked for love in your life? Would you dare try to count each little pebble of sand on the beaches of your planet? Each and every soul has already tried to seek love in that many ways, if not more. So what Yeshua or Jesus is telling us in the Way of Mastery is, you may not know it, but let me tell you, you have sought love in millions of ways through lots of lifetimes. You have sought love every kind of way you can imagine for lifetimes. You have sought love in a million forms that you already knew you were not going to find it in. All because you wanted to perpetuate the insane attempt to try to separate yourself from God. So what I hear the Way of Mastery saying to me is that there is a part of me that has wanted to believe that I'm separate from God. That there's a part of me that has wanted to believe that I'm separate from love. And one of the ways I unconsciously tried to do that is I purposely, get this now, I purposely sought for love in all the wrong places, with all the wrong people, in all the wrong ways, just to convince myself that I was right about the idea that I'm separate from love and separate from God. My desire to be right about believing that I'm separate from love and separate from God, the way I tried to prove that I was right about being separate from love and separate from God, was to seek for love in all the wrong places. To seek for love with people who didn't appear to love me. To seek for love in things and in ways that did not work. But what the Way of Mastery is saying is that I was purposely doing that so that I could perpetuate the false idea that I'm separate from God. that I'm separate from love. And let me tell you something. Don't you know that is as futile as a sunbeam trying to separate itself from the sun? I don't care how hard you try, you'll never separate yourself from God. I don't care how many ways you try, you will never separate yourself from love. You will never, ever, pay attention now, you will never, ever, 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 ever be successful in separating yourself from love, separating yourself from God. That's right, Grace. That's the truth. That's right, Julie. Thanks for saying yes. Kim, that's okay that you have many deep, deep calls for love. We all have deep calls for love. That's the ticket to being in the Earth School. This is Earth School. This is where we learn to remove the blocks to the awareness of the presence of love in ourselves. We all have deep calls for love. All have deep calls for love. So, and yes, Grace, during a dark hour, what did you say? I thought God left me. That was incorrect perception. I know better now. That is right, Grace. Did all the rest of you, my dear companions, hear that? That's incorrect perception. To think that God has left you, that your Creator has left you, that's incorrect perception. So indeed, beloved friends, you are my beloveds. You are my beloveds. Do you understand that? Indeed, beloved friends, do you know that there is only, do you know that there is only one question you need answer? Do you know, do you know, do you know, do you know, do you know? There is only one question you need answer. And this is the question. What am I choosing in this moment? Take a minute, take a breath, and ask yourself this. What am I choosing in this moment? What am I choosing in this moment? See, I like to say things in weird ways so that it can just get out of my intellect and I can feel it in my body, right? I want it to get in my body. So I do and say things in strange, weird ways to get my attention more. What am I choosing in this moment? What are you 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 choosing right now in your life? What are you choosing? That was, as I go into the new year, one of the things that I do clarity sessions for people. And one of the things, and I use astrology and numerology, very divine sciences that have been very helpful to me in getting guidance through the Holy Spirit. And I know that right now is a very, very important time for me to really get clear about what it is I want to do, and to answer that question, what do I want? And so there's a question you should ask yourself 100 times a day, 200 times a day. What do I want? What am I choosing in this moment? What are you choosing in this moment? What are you choosing right now in your relationships? What are you choosing right now in your relationship with your Creator? What are you choosing right now in your perceived financial situation? What are you choosing right now in what you perceive as your career or your spiritual awakening? What are you choosing? Not in the next moment. What are you choosing in this moment? What are you choosing right now? What have you given mastery over your life onto? What perception are you letting master you? What thoughts are you giving mastery over your life? What feelings are ruling you right now? What feelings are you having that are ruling you right now? Feelings merely flows from the thought or the perception that you have chosen. So first you have a perception and then you have a feeling. First you have something that you give meaning to, and then you have a feeling about it. So your feelings are following your thoughts. Your feelings are following your perceptions. So what behavior, I'm asking you this question, Earl, I'm asking you this question. Mighty companion, I'm asking you this question. And the question is, what behavior, what action are you choosing in this moment? And does that perception, does that action express the reality of your being? What perceptions are you choosing right now? What feelings are you choosing right now? What behavior are you choosing right now? And is that feeling or behavior or thought, is it really an expression of the reality of who or what you really are? Is it? Is it really? Are you busy extending love, or are you busying yourself fearfully trying to understand at what you think, or trying to grasp at what you think can give you love so that you don't lose it? Are you constantly trying to come up with who and what you think is going to give you love that you can't lose? Are you spending a lot of time trying to grasp at what you think is going to give you happiness so that you can't lose it? Are you fearfully trying to come up with what you think is going to make you happy? So I want you to take a moment, and this is what I would like to ask you to do. I would like to ask you to look well then. Look at your parents, look at your siblings, look at your mates, look at your friends. Think about your parents, think about your friends, think about your mates, think about your partners, think about your lovers, think about all of those people, right? And I want to tell you something. Do you know what I want to tell you? According to the way of mastery, not one of them holds the power to bring love to you. Your siblings can't bring love to you. Your parents can't bring love to you. Your mates can't bring love to you. Your friends cannot bring love to you. So what are you trying to get from them? They can't bring love to you. So what are you trying to get from your siblings? What are you trying to get from your parents? What are you trying to get from your mates? What are you trying to get from your friends? They cannot bring love to you. Why do you ever insist that someone else ought to be conformed to what you believe you need? Why do you keep insisting that another person should be conforming or changing in order to give you what you think you need? Why do you keep insisting on thinking that you're going to get someone to change in order to give you what you think you need, Earl, mighty companion? Why do we keep doing that? Why do we keep thinking that we've got to get other people to act the way we want them to in order to give us the love that we think we need? It is futile. Do you hear me? It is futile. 100%, absolutely, positively futile for you to seek love in relationship with anyone or anything. It is futile for you to seek to get love in relationship with anything. To try to get love in relationship to anyone. Now, but it is, however, quite appropriate for you to extend love in each relationship. It's completely will never work for you to seek to get love, but it's totally appropriate to extend love. So I am going to extend love to you. I am sitting in front of you. I am sitting in front of you with the goal of getting my ego, personality, out of the way, my old programming and conditioning from my past, out of the way, so that I can extend love. Notice I didn't say I was the one who was going to generate the love. I said that I am going to extend love in every one of my relationships with everyone and everything. That is the goal that I have. And the way of mastery is saying That should be the goal that you have. Do not let anyone tell you that it's not cool to extend love to everyone. Do not let anyone's fear make you believe that love is exclusive. Love is not exclusive. Run like the hills. Run to the hills. And like the hills. I guess you could have heels on, I guess, if you were a lady. But run like the hills. Run to the hills. When you're with anyone that says, don't love anybody but me, that is so opposite to what love truly is, that is almost a laughable statement to anyone that has the slightest idea of what love really is. Would never say, just love me. You should only love me and nobody but me. That is the epitome of an unconscious statement. We count on God loving each and every one of us. We count on our Creator loving all of us equally. And then we turn around and believe that we are only supposed to love our family or our mate or our children. That is not love. That is specialness. We are talking about love. And love is something that must be extended through you. And love is inclusive. I'm not talking about sex. I'm not talking about sex. I'm not talking about sex. I'm not talking about loving everyone means having sex with everyone. I'm not talking about loving everyone means having physical sex with everyone. That is a horrible misperception of what loving everyone means. Sexual expression can be one way that you choose to allow love, one of many ways that love can be expressed. But love has nothing to do with being able to have a physical connection with everyone and everything. So therefore, the extension of love requires that you have awakened to the truth that the only relationship that truly holds value, the only relationship that truly holds value, the only relationship that truly holds value is the relationship between you as the soul and God as your creator. Do you know that the only relationship that has any real value is the relationship that you as the soul and God as your creator, that relationship that you have with God, that relationship that you have with real love, that is the only relationship that has any real value. I want you to imagine a light bulb in one of your fixtures, and that light bulb looks out from its little filaments, and that light bulb says, well, I hope the person that just walked in the door is the right one. If I could just reach out and grab them, maybe my own light would come on. Imagine a light bulb saying, the next person that comes to that door, if I could just grab them, my light would come on. Isn't it a lot easier to simply take the cord and plug it into the right socket? There's nothing better than having the plug in the right socket. So how many times are you going to insist on trying to plug your cord into the wrong socket? There's been many times in my life that I tried to plug my cord in the wrong socket. Let me tell you. So how many times are you going to insist on trying to plug your cord in the wrong socket? Well, that one didn't work, so I think I'll try this body. I think I'll try this person. I think I'll try this career. Not getting very much juice from that either. And then you get angry, and because it's not giving you enough juice, or it gave you enough juice yesterday, but it's not giving you enough juice today, so that must be the other person's fault. What would you think if I told you that there is one little tiny socket into which you can plug your cord? I'm going to tell you the socket that you can plug your cord into. It's the only socket that your cord fits in. It's the only socket wired to bring you the flowing and living waters of grace. I'm talking about the socket that dwells inside your heart. You have to plug into your own socket of God. It isn't about plugging into somebody else's socket, getting the power from them, sucking the love from them, sucking the life from them. It's about you plugging into your own socket. Because when you plug into your own socket, you will take off like a rocket. When you plug into your own socket, you will take off like a rocket. When you plug into your own socket, you will take off like a rocket. When you plug into your own socket. And that socket lives in your heart. I'm not talking about the physical heart, but I'm talking about what's symbolized by the physical heart. I'm talking about the very core of your being. Do you know that it is time for you to plug into the very core of your being? Not my being, not somebody else's being. It's time to plug into your own core. The very core of your very being. Yes, Julie, I hear you. Yes, it's taken years for me to find the love within. That's okay. That's okay. That's all right, Julie. Please share this video, this broadcast on your timeline right now, right next to the comments. You'll see a box that says share. Let's get this message out to our mighty companions. How many times each day do you check in to see if your cord is still plugged in? How many times a day do you remember to ask yourself, how many times a day do you remember to ask yourself, is my commitment to love or is my commitment to fear? All during the day, ask yourself, in my relationship, is my commitment to love or is my commitment to fear? Because we're talking about fearlessness. We're talking about going beyond fear. How many times? Yes, Sarah J., I hear you. Sometimes we don't do it enough. You're right. Is my commitment to love in this relationship or is my commitment to fear in this relationship? Is my commitment to love in this situation? Is my commitment to fear in this situation? Is my commitment to love in this circumstance or is my commitment to fear in this circumstance? What is fear? What is fear? Well, fear is the act of disconnecting your cord from the only socket that can truly satisfy you. How can you tell when you've disconnected from yourself? How can you tell when you have disconnected from the core of your being? How can you tell when you have disconnected from your heart? How can you tell when you've disconnected from what can truly satisfy you? How can you tell when you're running around trying to plug your plug in somebody else's socket or something else? How can you tell? Fear lets you know that you're disconnected. Whenever you feel fear, you know you're disconnected. That's how you know you're disconnected. You feel fear. You feel anger. You feel depression. You feel guilt. You feel dissatisfied. You feel lack. You feel sickness. You feel attack. You feel faithless. You feel alone. These are your ways of knowing that you have unplugged from your own socket. Stop unplugging from your own socket. Stop trying to plug into somebody else's socket and plug into your own socket, the core of your being. Because when you are not connected to the core of your being, you feel fear. I would ask you to consider this one question. I want you to consider this one question. As you look upon the whole of your experience, as you look at your whole life, as you look at everything that's ever happened to you, has trying to plug into somebody else ever really worked? Has trying to get everybody else to act the way you want them to in order for you to feel validated and loved, has it ever really worked? Can it ever work for you to see your power, your love, your happiness as always being dependent on getting someone else to conform with your ideas, to act the way you want them to act, to somehow validate you? Has that ever worked? I mean, just take a minute. Has it ever worked? Have you ever really seen it work with anybody else? fear doesn't exist is very true. But you know from your own experience, you can feel what you call fear. And now when you feel what you call fear, you can help yourself go beyond your fear by recognizing that when you feel fear, it means you're disconnected from your own source, from within you, your core. You are disconnected. You have taken your plug and you've taken it out of your socket. I want you to imagine trying to hold flowing water in the palm of your hand by squeezing your fingers together. How much water would you have left if you took some flowing water and you tried to hold it in your hand in a tight fist? Doesn't it just run through your fingers? It doesn't matter how hard you try, then that water is still going to find little holes that water can flow away from you through. You open your hand, and then there won't even be enough water left to wet your tongue. Each time that you look at each time that you look upon another, whether it be a parent, whether it be a sibling, whether it be a friend, whether it be a mate, whether it be a teacher, whatever, physical, object, or person, every time you try to plug into that socket, that person, to get the juice that you believe you need, that is just what you're doing. You're making sure that you'll never have it. And you literally end up squeezing the life out of the relationship itself. If you're looking for somebody else to fulfill you, if you're looking for something outside of yourself to fulfill you, if you're looking for something else to make you happy, somebody outside of you, something outside of you to make you happy, that's like trying to grab hold of flowing water by squeezing it in your hand. It's going to always escape. And that's what people do in their relationships. They have this unrealistic belief that this other person holds their love and their happiness, and they try to hold on to it so hard, and they squeeze that all of the life out of that relationship until it's nothing but a little tomb that you're living in. Your bodies are together and your minds are 1,000 miles apart. Your bodies are together and your hearts are 1,000 miles apart because you are trying to plug into each other's socket instead of plugging into your own socket and then extending the love to each other. That's what you do. So when you seek first the kingdom, when you plug that cord, that socket, when you plug into the socket of your own heart, when you remember that you and your Creator are joined, when you remember that only love is real, when you remember that nothing else but love matters and love is freedom, then you will remember that the temptation to find love outside you, and that is a temptation. It's a temptation to find love outside of you. You will realize when you really make your connection to yourself and you make connection to source, and that is what the way of mastery teaches you to do, you will realize that trying to find love outside of yourself is just going to become an echo of an old habit. When I find myself being attracted to something or someone, and I find that I have my drive to get come up because somehow or another this person or this thing is going to satisfy me, then now, because of my spiritual work, I realize that I'm just experiencing the echo of an old habit. I just used to be in the habit of seeking outside of myself. So every now and then that desire to try to get outside of myself is going to come up because I have just been in the habit of doing it. And that habit cannot live unless you feed it. Do you know that there is not a habit you can have unless you feed it? So therefore, I want you to do one thing. Do you know what that one thing is, Earl? Do you know what that one thing is, mighty companion? Feed the only habit that matters. If you're going to feed a habit, feed the only habit that matters. And the only habit that matters is the habit of remembering the truth, remembering what we just heard, that your happiness is not going to come from plugging into anything and anybody outside of yourself. Remembering that there is a socket in your heart. There is a socket in your heart, that your being, your true connection to source, that's the socket that you need to learn how to plug into. And all of your spiritual work, all the purpose of your spiritual work is just to get you to let go of the blocks to the awareness that you have your own socket. Socket to me. Socket to me. Not socket to you. Socket to me. Socket to me. Say that right now. Socket to me. 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 So, feed the only habit that matters. What is the only habit that matters? The habit of remembering that the truth is true always. The truth is always true. Regardless of what is passing before your physical eyes, regardless of what you think you are going through, regardless of what you think is going on in your mind, the truth is always true, and you can always count on the truth. So I will say this. In all comings and goings, in all births and all deaths, in all arising and passing away of universe after universe after universe, in the midst of a flat tire, in the midst of a sudden rainstorm, nothing, I don't care what you're going through, I don't care who you're with, I don't care what's happening, nothing holds value. Absolutely nothing has any value except your relationship with that which created you. That is the only relationship that is truly valuable. And the only relationship that is truly valuable is any relationship that helps you remember that the only real relationship and the only valuable relationship is your relationship with love, your creator. So what is a real relationship? It's a relationship where we want to help each other plug into our own sockets. It's a relationship that makes you aware that the only relationship that has any value is the relationship with God, with truth, with love. That will take you beyond all fear. That is the true meaning of fearlessness. So take a breath right now. Take a breath. Let it in. Let it in. Take a breath. Take a breath. Sock it to me. 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 All right. We're going to come back and we're going to do a few takeaways before we complete. I want to thank you for tuning in with me. I am a full-time teacher. This is my function in the world. This is what I do. So if you would like to make a financial expression of appreciation, then please go to my website, earlpurdy.com. I truly appreciate you seeing value in what I do. And I appreciate you being moved to support my teaching ministry. Also, I am available for one-on-one sessions called clarity sessions, where I work with you personally. Because to work with you is to work with myself. Go to my website. It explains the services that I offer. Go there. Go into this new year with me and you together. Absolutely doing this together. Please sign up for my contact list on my website. I will be doing workshops online and in person. And I have one coming up. So if you want to find out more about it, email me at earlpurdy@earlpurdy.com. I got a really easy email to remember. earlpurdy@earlpurdy.com. And I will let you know more about my upcoming workshop. You are a blessing in my life. Remember, starting in 2018, I will be doing all of my Facebook Live broadcasts from facebook.com, www.facebook.com/Earl Purdy Live. Or you could just Google, go to Facebook and go Earl Purdy page. I mean, that's the name of it, Earl Purdy page. Okay? That's what we're going to be doing. I am taking everything that I'm doing to a brand new level because I'm ready to go to a brand new level. And I know there are those of you out there that are totally in tune with me. And you feel very much connected to me. And the way that the truth comes through me as your teacher, as you are my teacher. And that's who I'm reaching out to. Those who feel the connection and want to go deeper with me. So let's take a look at what were some of your takeaways from what you heard tonight. Well, one of the things that I heard tonight personally, the thing that sticks out for me the most was what it was saying about I need to get honest with myself about how many ways that I've looked for love in my life, thought I found it, and it wasn't really there. And I need to remember that I purposely sought for love with people and in situations and in circumstances where I knew I would not receive it. And the Way of Mastery said that was because I was trying to convince myself that I was truly separate from God and truly separate from love. So that was one of my takeaways, because I try to see what can I remember just by thinking about it. The other thing that it told me to do over and over and over again is to ask myself all during the day, am I committed to love or am I committed to fear? So ask yourself all day long, am I committed to love or am I committed to fear? Am I committed to love or am I committed to fear? Am I committed to love or am I committed to fear? So what were some of your takeaways? Well, I see a few takeaways. It's good to meet you too, but truly. Give me some takeaways that you heard tonight, something that stuck out in your mind that you would like to share tonight. Dana says, it's a good way. It makes me realize that happy. It makes her Dana says it makes her realize how happy and at peace she is being single. One of the things that I tell people, especially when I'm working with them, is that I believe that the person that is most ready to have a relationship is a person that doesn't feel like they need one, that they feel so whole and complete because they're plugged into their own socket, that they feel okay whether they have a special love relationship or not. Those are the ones I feel are most ready for the relationship. Patricia says that she's looked for love in all the wrong places, and she's ready to stop looking for love in all the wrong places. I agree, Patricia. I want to stop looking for love in all the wrong places also. Sarah J., you're saying God love. That's what I want, is God's love. That's what I want too, Sarah J. See, you said plug into the love socket and be an extension cord. I am happy to be an extension cord of love. Let's be an extension cord of love. Mark, you said you cannot seek love. You can only extend love. Give what you would receive. That's right, Mark. We must give what we would receive. And by the way, I want y'all to have the most incredible new year ever. And Grace says, what am I choosing at this moment? That is what we must ask ourselves. Julie says, my relationship with myself and my Creator is the only relationship that I need to continue growing. The relationship I have with myself and the relationship I have with my Creator is the only relationship that I need to keep growing. Right now, love is calling you home. Kim says, since I am working towards awakening, it doesn't matter the opinions of people who are not seeking the truth. It doesn't matter. The opinions of those who are not seeking the truth does not matter. That is right. You got to let that go. You got to let that go. You want to ask yourself. You got to ask yourself. You got to ask yourself this question. Is my commitment to love or is my commitment to fear? Is my commitment to love? It's just my commitment to fear. Is my commitment to love or is my commitment to fear? Is my commitment to fear? Tell yourself, I am committed to love. Say it with me. I am committed to love. I say, I am committed to love. What about truth? I am committed to truth. Tell yourself with me. I am committed to truth. I am committed to truth. I am committed to love. Let's say that together. I am committed to love. What about truth? I am committed to truth. Let's say it. I am committed to truth. I am committed to God. I am committed to God. Let's say it. Lynn, take a breath. God is calling us home. Let's hold hands. How about that? God is calling, just calling. God, where we belong. God, say what? God is calling us home. God is calling us home. All of us, all of us. Are you ready to go home? Sock it to me, God. 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 Let's say it. Sock it to me, God. 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 Say it. Sock it to me, God. 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 Don't keep on trying to plug your plug in the wrong socket. Sock it to me, God. We go hand in hand. We come home. That's right, Claire. Hand to hand. We come home. Let's say it now. Hand to hand. We come home. Hand in hand. We come home. Mighty companions. Mighty companions, it has been my pleasure. I always grow so much when I'm with you. I am Earl Purdy. I want you to know that we are going to go into this new year hand in hand. 1 o'clock p.m. on Sundays Mountain Time is A Course in Miracles on Facebook Live. 7 o'clock on Tuesdays Mountain Time is The Way of Mastery. And starting January 4th, Hardcore Course in Miracles, Thursdays, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time at www.facebook.com/Earl Purdy Live. I love you. You're so damn cute and sweet. Mighty companions. You can get The Way of Mastery through ShantiCristo.com on Amazon. I appreciate you. I love you. Happy New Year. This is going to be the best year ever, mighty companions, because we have each other. We are not alone. God bless you too, Patricia. God bless all of you. You're always blessed. We are. We just need to get the blocks out of the way. That's about it, right? May the course be with you.